afternoon. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. To everybody who's sitting here, and to more than 1 million Me fans who are watching us live right now. This is probably one of the biggest ever launch event live stream. And I'm so glad that I don't have a single Valentine, but have so many millions of Valentines. And I'm also so happy that you guys have decided to spend this special day with us. So thank you so much, guys. My name is Manu Jain. I'm a global VP with the firm, and I head Xiaomi's business in India. Let me start by sharing a really great news, which is Xiaomi has become the 4th largest smartphone brand in the world, and that too in a market which is declining year on year. Thank you. If you look at all the brands, they've seen a decline from 2016 to 2017. And Xiaomi is the only brand which has been growing at 97% year on year. And of course, if you look at our India business, we continue to remain the #1 brand. We became #1 in Q3, and again in Q4, we were the #1 brand in India. If you look at the latest IDC report, which came out yesterday, we are now the undisputed #1 brand with about 27% market share. Thank you. And if you look at just the online segment, we're the dominating #1 brand. We have 57% market share, which is approximately 6x. Thank you. This is about 6x bigger than the second biggest brand in the online segment. Now, we were always selling products online, and about a year ago, we decided to also build our offline business. And happy to share that in such a short period of 9 months, Xiaomi has become the second biggest brand in offline with 11% share. Now, this has been possible because of the amazing products that we have. If you look at the top 10 selling smartphones in Q4 2017, 6 out of 10 were Xiaomi phones. And a big shout out to all our Me fans, because this wouldn't have been possible without you guys. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for supporting our business for the last 3 years. Now, I also want to take a moment and talk about the Xiaomi philosophy. We are not about sales. We really want to become friends with our Me fans. So how do we become friends? We, of course, launch really innovative products with very high specs. But more than just specs, we also focus on quality. And then what we do, what I call is honest pricing. We always try and price our products at cost, and we try and make them available to you guys at lowest possible price. Take an example of Redmi Note 4. Amazing specs, great quality, unbeatable price. And that's why Redmi Note 4 was the #1 selling phone in 2017. We shipped out more than 9.6 million phones in just one single year. And not just these amazing sales, this was also one of the highest rated phones. For example, if you go to Flipkart, more than 1 million people wrote positive comments about Redmi Note 4 on the platform. A lot of people said great things. For example, Android Authority said this was the well-rounded package, or I would say this was India's all-rounder phone. Some people also said this is the phone to beat in 2017. And I personally believe there was no phone which even came close to beating Redmi Note 4. So today, here we are. We're about to launch a phone which we think will beat Redmi Note 4. And this phone is Redmi Note 5. Give me 5. We think this is an all-rounded upgrade to Redmi Note 4. And to talk more about this, I'll call on stage Sir Jaimani. Give me 5.
Thank you, Manu. Hello, everyone. How are you guys? My name is Jay Mani, and I'm the lead product manager for Xiaomi here in India. And as Manu mentioned, today we're here to talk about Redmi Note 5. Now, it's easy to think that a phone is just about the specs, but we believe that there's more to it than that. And our goal has always been to help you understand more about our products beyond just what you see in a table. And I personally believe that's the reason why we've been so successful here in India. So today, we have some really cool stuff to show you, and I hope you enjoy it. So Redmi Note 5, it's an all-around upgrade. We kept the same great things that made Redmi Note 4 the best-selling phone in India, but we upgraded everything else. And the three main areas I want to talk about are design, camera, and quality. So first up, let's start with design. We have a really awesome video to show you, so let's run that right now. That video is so awesome. If we had time, I would run that again, but we got a lot of stuff to talk about today, so let's keep going. So the biggest upgrade that we made when it comes to Redmi Note 5's design is the display. Redmi Note 5 has a 5.99-inch full HD plus display, and this is the first phone that we've released with these larger aspect ratios since Mi Mix. So if you look at Redmi Note 4, it's pretty much what all phones have looked like for the last few years, the 5.5-inch 16:9 display. But when we compare it to Redmi Note 5, we've reduced the borders on the top and bottom significantly, and we've used all that space to give you more display. It's actually 12.5% more display area in a similar form factor. So we've removed the stuff that you don't need and given you a bigger screen. And when you start using phones like this, any other phone just feels old. Even phones that were released this month, they just feel old. So what can you do with that extra space? Well, if you haven't used it before, it's really great, particularly for web pages where you have more content. You don't have to scroll as much. It's really good for gaming. You either get more space to give you an advantage, or you have bigger touch targets, so you can be more accurate. And Redmi Note 5 also has a similar premium metal body with a tapered back edge. Actually, it's difficult to see here on the slide, but if you compare the taper to Redmi Note 4, the slide here, the angle here is adjusted by a couple of degrees, so it feels smoother, it fits in closer with the edge. When you compare it in the demo zone, you'll see that it feels a lot better in the hand. Another big change we made is that it's a lot thinner. Redmi Note 5 is 8.05 millimeters thick. It's almost half a millimeter thinner than the Redmi Note 4, and it's the thinnest Redmi Note we've ever made. And it still, most importantly, has the same great 4000 mAh battery. So we've made the phone thinner, but we've kept the battery the same. And I think the best part of the Redmi Note 5 design is that it feels modern, but it also is familiar. It looks like a Redmi Note. Here's a look from both the front and the back. Beautiful white and gold. We've also added a new and elegant rose gold, perfect for Valentine's Day today. And a color that some of you might be familiar with, a lot of people ask me about this, lake blue. This was really popular when we released it with Redmi Note 4 towards the end of last year. So Redmi Note 5 comes in 4 colors: black, gold, rose gold, and lake blue. The design has smaller borders with more display, It's a thinner body with the same battery life, and it still feels great in the hand. So now let's talk about the camera. We've gotten a lot of feedback from you guys on the cameras for Redmi Note 3 and Redmi Note 4, and we worked hard to make changes this year. A lot of people said that the camera of Redmi Note 4 was good as long as the lighting was good, but it started to struggle in low light. So we wanted to change that this year, and we made a bunch of improvements. So let me start with the rear camera. So we've upgraded the rear camera sensor to have a large 1.25 micron pixels. This helps a lot with low light photography, and it's similar to what we had in the main sensor of the Mi A1. It's one of the reasons why people loved that camera so much. And actually, this is the only phone in the segment to have these kind of pixels. So your photos will look brighter and crisper, especially in low light. And compared to Redmi Note 4, it has about 25% more pixel area. And when compared to the 1 micron pixels on Redmi Note 3, it's about 56% more light. So the low light performance on Redmi Note 5 is significantly better than our previous generation Redmi Notes. So let's take a look at a couple of snaps. This photo here, there's two things to notice. If you look at the sharpness on all edges here, really, really crisp, but also the dynamic range. Different petals on this building have different light. You have some parts that are in shadow, you have kind of a yellow light here, a red light here, and it all comes out well. This shows a lot of the power of our HDR algorithm. This photo is, again, taken in low light. All of the lights are off here. It's taken towards the evening, but you can still see a lot of the details in the shop, even though it's dark in there. It shows a lot about good white balance and exposure. This image shows our contrast, and again, auto white balance. You can see the white color of the mushrooms, but there's still bright colors everywhere else in the image. And then even the browns look good here. So photos, and especially low light photos, are a lot better on Redmi Note 5. And it's not just the rear camera. We've also added an LED selfie light on the front. So you have better low light photos, both on the front camera and on the back camera. So now let's talk about quality. I think usually when people talk about focusing on India, they're talking about things like localization, translating the, these are things that we did in MIUI 3 years ago. But the customizations that we're talking about here, the things that we did specifically for India, for Redmi Note 5, they all have to do with improving the quality. This is something that Manu talked about, and it's something that we've been focused on for the last year. Our components are sourced from first-class suppliers, and for Redmi Note 5, we raised our standards even more. Redmi Note 4 had a single pyrolytic graphite sheet, and this decreases the surface temperature on your phone by about 1 degree. In Redmi Note 5, we have dual pyrolytic graphite sheets, mouthful, dual pyrolytic graphite sheets, and this further decreases the temperature by another 1 degree to give you 2 degrees total cooler surface temperatures. This is something that we first started talking about with Mi A1, and this is something that we're continuing here with Redmi Note 5. Redmi Note 5 also comes with the charger design for India. It's a brand new charger that we had to make, and it helps handle power spikes, which are especially common here in India during the summers. Now, the operating voltage of this adapter is the same, but what it's designed to do is handle voltage spikes up to 380 volts. And these are the types of spikes that can destroy your charger, and in the worst case, can destroy your phone. So we've made a specific charger here in India to improve the quality on Redmi Note 5. Redmi Note 5 also has Gorilla Glass, which is something that I think has been asked for quite a few times. And in terms of testing and QA standards, we're actually using many of the same tests that we use on our flagship Mi series. We have a cool video to show you some of these tests. Let's take a look at that now.
At Xiaomi, we strive to serve the best to our Mi fans. Our Redmi series is built with them in mind. Quality products at an honest pricing. Every REDMI device is subjected to more than 4,000 software and hardware tests during the research and development stage. Any failed test leads to a complete redesign of the product. We run with the belief that the more tests we do, there would be fewer problems in the future. We run with the belief that the stricter our tests are, there would be fewer issues faced in the future. At Xiaomi, we believe that quality control is a collaborative effort from the entire team. Quality first has always been the core of Xiaomi and will always continue this way for a long time. Innovation decides how high we soar, while quality defines how far we go.
By the way, please don't try any of that at home. We did that so that you don't have to. If you want, I can send you the video, but don't do that to your phone, please. So here are some of the tests that we are talking about. Again, these are many of the same durability tests that we run on our Mi phones. I doubt that many of you would use your fingerprint sensor over 600,000 times. So that's Redmi Note 5. We've upgraded 3 key areas: design, camera, and quality. And people really loved Redmi Note 4 for its great performance and battery life. And so Redmi Note 5 continues that legacy. It has Snapdragon 625. Oh, a cheers. Thank you. I agree. We agree. And last year, we spent a lot of time talking about why. We talked about 14 nanometer FinFET, and I don't think anybody before this had talked about that. And I think many of you were skeptical at the time. Now we got cheers. Thank you. And it turns out that we were right. It turns out that millions of people love the performance on Redmi Note 4. And so we use the same processor because it still gives great power efficiency and great thermal performance. And of course, we've also kept the 4000 mAh battery, which is something that we pioneered here first with Redmi Note 3. Once you start using one of these phones, it just spoils you. It's really difficult to switch to anything else. So that's Redmi Note 5. It's India's all-rounder. All right, now let's talk about price, which I think might still be a surprise. So when we do the comparison, you can see that we took the stuff that made Redmi Note 4 such an easy phone to recommend and really made it the best-selling phone in India: Snapdragon 625, 4000 mAh battery, and we upgraded everything else. You have a full-screen display, 5.99 inches, in a similar size body. You have better low-light performance with the bigger pixel rear sensor and an LED selfie light. So last year, we sold the 332 version for $10,999 with Redmi Note 4. This year, we're starting with a 3 GB version at an amazing price of $9,999. You cannot find a phone like this at that price. So the 4 GB version, which was the most popular version last year, and it is still the best-selling phone at this price. So with Redmi Note 5, we wanted to do even better. We've taken the 4 GB version and made it $11,999. So again, let's take a look at the comparisons here. You have the same great phone with a bigger display, better camera, and a better price. It's awesome. We've also made an ultra slim case. It looks great, and most importantly, it actually protects your phone really well. So pretty much everybody we talk to has a case, and when we look at the reviews of some of the popular ones, they're not that great, and most of these cases are around $200 to $300. So with Redmi Note 5, we've included this case in the box. And because it's from Xiaomi, because it's our case, you know that it's high quality and the fit is really, really good. You know, I've heard from a lot of people who order our phones and then buy the case separately and have to wait a few days before the case comes, and they're protecting their phone religiously. They don't remove the plastic. I saw somebody who was carrying their Redmi Note 4 around in the box, which I thought was pretty ridiculous. So now we have the case included in all devices for free. So that's it, Redmi Note 5. It's India's all-rounder. Big upgrades to design, especially with the full screen display, low light camera improvements, both to the front and back, and importantly, a lot of quality improvements, specifically here for India, and we still have the best-in-class battery life and performance. It also comes with the Ultra SIM case for free. So Redmi Note 5, it's an all-around upgrade to what is still today one of India's best-selling phones. And this photo is from a trip that we made a couple weeks ago visiting Mi fans around the country. We really believe in Redmi Note 5, but many of you have asked us for more. And so, for that, we have Redmi Note 5 Pro. This is the global debut of Redmi Note 5 Pro. This is the first time you'll see this anywhere in the world. And again, I want to emphasize that we don't just say we focus on India because it sounds good. We are the only company that is consistently launching new products here in India first. And so Redmi Note 5 Pro, it is also the first device in the world to come with Qualcomm Snapdragon 636 mobile platform. Yeah, the first device in the world. And again, this is the third year in a row that we're doing that. First, we did the Snapdragon 650 with Redmi Note 3. Last year, Snapdragon 625 with Redmi Note 4. And this year, Snapdragon 636 with the Redmi Note 5 Pro. So it's not just a statement. We actually launch things, new technologies here in India first. And we're really, really proud of that. So people love the performance of Redmi Note 3. And that was because it had those flagship grade A72 cores in them. So Snapdragon 636 comes with the latest Cryo microarchitecture. And for those of you who don't know Cryo, they are Qualcomm's semi-custom CPU based on ARM Cortex technologies. Now these Cryo cores were previously exclusive to 800 series phones, things like the Snapdragon 820 and the Snapdragon 835. And Snapdragon 636 comes with Cryo 260. These are based on the flagship grade ARM A73 core. And here's some of the benefits that you can see here. It has up to 50% better performance and is almost 40% more power efficient. And Cryo 260 isn't just about peak performance, it's also a huge improvement to sustained performance. So you have flagship performance for a long period of time because it's optimized for efficiency. And Snapdragon 636 comes with 4 performance Cryo cores, and this is the only phone anywhere near this price which has flagship ARM cores in it. There are also 4 Cryo cores for the power cores, which are based on 853. So you might have seen this before, but what does this all mean in practice? What do we actually get? Well, of course, we ran Antutu on it, and I think the results are pretty cool. So we listened. With Redmi Note 5 Pro, we are again bringing flagship grade performance to the Redmi Note series, and that's all thanks to Snapdragon 636. This completely destroys the performance of any phone in this segment If you want performance or power, Redmi Note 5 Pro is the only phone to get. And if we compare it to the Snapdragon 625 and Redmi Note 4, it has over 59% better performance on Antutu. Now, 8x853s are great, but for flagship grade performance, you need the Redmi Note 5 Pro. So last year, we talked about 14nm FinFET, and this is the reason why we avoided some other CPUs that you guys had asked us for. We spent a lot of time talking about the benefits. And so we worked with Qualcomm, and we waited for Snapdragon 636, because it has the best of both worlds. The raw performance of Cryo, along with the efficiency, thermal performance, and battery life from 14nm FinFET. So Redmi Note 5 Pro with Snapdragon 636, it has flagship DNA, and it still has 14nm FinFET for thermal performance and battery life. We worked closely with our friends at Qualcomm to make this product. Larry Paulson, the president of Qualcomm India, is here today. Thank you so much for your hard work and support. And Larry was kind enough to share this quote with us on our collaboration. We're proud to collaborate with Xiaomi for the global debut of the Qualcomm Snapdragon 636 mobile platform. Sporting our latest Qualcomm Cryo semi-custom CPU, Snapdragon 636 makes Redmi Note 5 Pro a true performance beast. Thank you very much, Larry. We totally agree, by the way. So it's the best of both worlds. And we think it's exactly what you've been asking us for. Best-in-class performance in the Redmi Note series. But we're not done with performance yet. Redmi Note 5 Pro also has up to 6 gigabytes of RAM. This is the first time ever in a Redmi series, 6 gigabytes of RAM. But it's not just about the size. We've also used the fastest type of RAM available in the market, LPDDR4X RAM. This is the same kind of RAM that you'll find in any flagship phone today. It's up to 35% more power efficient compared to LPDDR3 RAM, which is what you find in most phones in this price range. And it's 20% more power efficient than LPDDR4. So Redmi Note 5 Pro has amazing performance. Snapdragon 636 and up to 6 gigabytes of incredibly fast LPDDR4X RAM. It is the most powerful Redmi Note ever, and it is by far the most powerful phone that you can get anywhere near this price. All right. Now let's talk about design. Just like Redmi Note 5, Redmi Note 5 Pro is beautiful. So we have another great product video to show you. So let's take a look at that. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. Oh, sorry, I was getting some feedback there. Redmi Note 5 Pro, it's beautiful and modern. We have a similar tapered back cover to what we have in Redmi Note 5, and it curves perfectly in the edges. And if you'll notice in the demo zone, the corners are also a little bit different on Redmi Note 5 Pro. It fits really comfortably in your hands. Here's the gold version. Again, elegant gold on the back with the white front. But probably more appropriate for today, the Valentine's Day pairing of the lake blue and rose gold. Actually, personally, I prefer the rose gold version. It looks really elegant. Again, check it out in person in a little bit. So here are all four. Lake blue, black, gold, and rose gold. So that's performance and design. But the real reason why you should buy this phone, the real true power of this phone, is the camera. Redmi Note 5 Pro is India's camera beast. It's got great performance, but the camera is awesome. And I can confidently say that this is the best camera of any smartphone that we've shipped here in India. So let's start first with the rear camera. The Redmi Note 5 Pro has a dual camera. I got a bunch of claps for that in the video. It's the first time we've ever shipped a dual camera in a Redmi Note smartphone. And it's a 12 megapixel IMX486 sensor from Sony, the main sensor. And the secondary sensor is a 5 megapixel color sensor to capture depth information. The rear camera comes with the portrait mode. And while the dual camera helps, as many of you know, software is as important, if not more important, than hardware when it comes to camera performance. And so we've been working on an AI-based computing engine specifically for our cameras. We have a camera team in our Mi Brain division. And for portrait mode, we use a process called semantic segmentation. This is based on our powerful deep learning algorithm. So semantic segmentation tries to understand and break down an image at a pixel level. It separates each pixel in a photo and tries to assign it to specific objects. So here, when you're in a portrait mode, there's two main objects. There's the object in the foreground, which is the person, and there's everything else in the background. And because of semantic segmentation, we can accurately determine which pixel goes where. So we know what's part of the foreground, and we can beautifully blur out the background. So let's take a look at some of these rear camera photos. That's pretty awesome, right? We started with this one because you can see the depth effect is really good. This guy really pops out in the photo. But importantly, the sensor quality shows up here in the details on his shirt. It's white on white, but you can still make out the details and the texture of his shirt pretty well. So here's another one. Again, the edge detection of our algorithm is really, really good. If you notice here, particularly around the hair and the shoulders where the image starts to get dark, it's actually still sharp, and this is because of the semantic segmentation. So the background is rightly blurred, but the important details are still sharp and in focus. Now this photo is a favorite of a guy on our team. It really matches his personality, I think. It captures this guy's fun, playful, but yet serious spirit. All right, so all of the photos I just showed you were taken without any special equipment, of course. But the thing that makes the Redmi Note 5 Pro camera awesome, and the thing I want to emphasize, is that it makes it easy for anybody to take these types of photos. And the next few photos are by Mi fans, not professional photographers, although some of you might be professional photographers. And they're really cool. So this photo shows the portrait mode. And it's not difficult to use, but also important to note that this is on an object. This isn't on a person. The portrait mode works well on many different types of objects. Here again is another shot to show our HDR algorithm. All of these rocks are in focus, and there's beautiful colors everywhere in the image. This next photo is, I think, my favorite. I mean, look at that photo. This looks like it was taken on a DSLR, and this was not taken by a professional photographer. And the interesting thing here is there's actually 4 people in this photo. There's 2 people over there on the left, And there's a person right behind the baby in the foreground. And yet, she is still in focus. Everything is blurred correctly. Even the edges here are sharp. It's pretty amazing. This is the power of AI-based semantic segmentation that we have in this camera. So I think this next thing you guys will like. For videos, Redmi Note 5 Pro comes with EIS. So that one, we heard your feedback. Put it in here. So now let's talk about the front camera. And actually, I think the front camera is even better than the rear camera. Yeah, this is probably my favorite. This one or the swing is probably my favorite image of the ones we showed today. But this is particularly impressive because it's taken on a front camera. The bokeh effect is really good. You have good colors, deep blacks on her hair, her dress, her shirt comes out, the reds are nice. But again, importantly, there are two people in this photo. And the portrait mode is applied correctly. This is a major stumbling block for many, many different cameras which have portrait modes. So how do we do this? Well, this is our first phone ever which ships with portrait selfies. And as you can see from the previous image, the results are really great. Just like with the rear camera, we use our AI-based computing engine to make this happen. But unlike the rear camera, this is done with a single camera. So the deep learning algorithms here are key. And as I mentioned, and as you all know, software is really key for a great camera. All right, so comparing Redmi Note 5 Pro to the iPhone X might seem like a stretch to some of you, but I encourage all of you to try it. Our algorithm is really, really, really good, especially if we zoom in here. Not only the edge detections, but the details, the hair, everything is just better. All right, so the Pixel 2 is considered one of the best cameras in the industry, and both of these images are good. But again, if we zoom in, while the Pixel 2 does a better job than the iPhone X, Redmi Note 5 Pro still has better edge detection, and it still captures more details in the hair. Our portrait selfie mode is really amazing. So the second problem we wanted to solve with the front camera is low light selfies, better low light photography. So we have a 20 megapixel front camera. It has a large f2.2 aperture, but it's not just any 20 megapixel sensor, it's also high quality. It's a 20 megapixel front camera, which is a IMX376 from Sony. That means we have Sony sensors on both the front and rear camera. And we combine 4 pixels into one in a process that's called pixel binning. You can see it here. The result of this is that each pixel has less noise. So I can run this one more time. And so when we combine these 4 pixels, the effective pixel size is 2 microns. It's like a super pixel, and that means that it's really, really strong in low light. Redmi Note 5 Pro also comes with an LED selfie light. And we actually spent a lot of time optimizing the color temperature. We used a 4,500 Kelvin color temperature because after consistent testing, we found that it produces the most natural, cool white light, which actually looks good on your face. So you can see how this all plays out in this photo. It's actually taken under very difficult conditions, but the selfie light and the 2 micron pixels from pixel binning make it seem like the lighting is actually good in this photo. So the front camera has great low light performance and our awesome, what I consider to be best-in-class portrait selfie mode. It gives you 20 megapixel perfect selfies. So we have some more snaps here today. Let's take a look at some of those. So we have seen a lot of photos, a lot of front camera, particularly in portrait mode, where they get tripped up on glasses. And this image is really good because it keeps everything in focus and it doesn't lose recognition just because of the glasses. So everything is sharp and crisp here. I think this one is interesting because the algorithm can actually distinguish that this dark area is not his hair, which might be a reasonable mistake. It realizes that it's a plant. The semantic segmentation can blur it out, and if you look at that line on his neck, it's actually still sharp. This photo is great. The colors are awesome. And look at the contrast, particularly of the bee's image there on her shirt. So today, we're also announcing Beautify 4.0. It's optimized through deep learning, and it's tuned specifically for India with tens of thousands of photos that we've taken here. And Beautify 4.0 works on both the front and rear camera. So normal Beautify modes typically use a single filter that applies across your entire face. But with Beautify 4.0, we went into a lot more detail. So if you actually study how people do makeup, it's never with a single brush or mask. So we spend time trying to understand what makeup artists do. Starting from things like the skin cleanser, primer, blush, there are actually 12 primary steps to perfect makeup. And we had our engineers study each step. And that's because it's not easy to understand the effects and the differences of each of these steps if you're just looking at the final result. So Beautify 4.0 can intelligently identify different skin variations and adjust the algorithm based on what it detects. So this area highlighted here is what's called the T-zone. It's typically the most oily part of your face, and that's most prone to acne and clogged pores. So again, if you're using a single filter across your whole face, it might leave behind some blemishes here or over smooth everything in the T-zone. So you can see that Beautify 4.0 does this pretty well. Here again, looking at the blemishes, Beautify 4.0 smooths them out, but not her entire face. So if we look here at this part, it smooths out the blemishes, but the rest of the face still has detail. You can still see contour lines. We can run it again and show you. So that's a key detail. It shows how powerful this algorithm is when it can recognize in great detail different parts of any image. Similarly, Beautify 4.0 works really well on eyebrows. Here you can see the typical Beautify algorithms. Because they're applying a single filter, they smooth out all the details and your eyebrows come out blurred. Whereas with Beautify 4.0, we can work around it. And unlike simple filters, with Beautify 4.0, we can make your lips look even more natural with a beautiful rosy tint. So I was talking about the tens of thousands of photos that we use to tune this here in India. And all of you know what a bindi is. But typically, these algorithms are not trained on Indian photos. And so something as simple as a bindi might look like a blemish which should be removed by your Beautify algorithm. And actually, we've seen a lot of phones that do that. So with Beautify 4.0, we can recognize the beauty on the forehead, the bindi on the forehead, and intelligently beautify the rest of the image. This also works really well with nose pins. Thank you. I think this one's also quite interesting. So because we trained this on faces of Indian men, we were able to tune it to preserve details of facial hair as well. So again, if you look at the typical algorithm, there's no detail in the beard. But if you compare it with Beautify 4.0, you can see individual details, hairs on his beard. So I'd like to give a big shout out to our dedicated camera tuning team here in India. They're the ones who made sure that the Redmi Note 5 Pro camera is top notch. If any of you have been to our office over the last few months, you would see some of these folks walking everywhere, taking photos in all different kinds of conditions. And I'm really proud to say that their hard work paid off. This camera is awesome. So that is the camera. It's the amazing portrait mode on both the front and the rear, powered by our AI-based algorithms. It's a dual camera with 20 megapixel on the front and Beautify 4.0 on both the front and rear. It's a perfect portrait. And as I mentioned earlier, I honestly believe that this is the best camera we've ever shipped in a phone here. It really is India's camera beast. So we have one more AI-based feature to show you, and that's Face Unlock. So this is the first time we've ever released Face Unlock here in India, and it's actually faster than a fingerprint reader. It's pretty cool. So our face detection algorithm scans facial features in roughly 500 milliseconds using a high accuracy matching mechanism. And Face Unlock is coming soon. It'll be released via an OTA by the end of March. All right, price. So we did some comparison to phones around this performance. And it's important to note that why we picked these phones out is that you can't find this kind of performance until you go up to phones of this price. And Redmi Note 5 Pro, it has everything. It has the flagship grade performance from the Cryo cores, 6 gigabytes of RAM, and that RAM is fast. LPDDR4X RAM, which actually the Galaxy S8 doesn't even have. And my personal favorite, it has a 4000 mAh battery. You cannot get this kind of performance in a phone with a battery like this. If you use any of these phones, you will inevitably run out of battery, and that does not happen with Redmi Note 5 Pro. And then the camera is great. The dual camera on the rear and 20 megapixel front camera. So we have two versions. The 6 gigabyte version with 64 gigabytes of internal storage is $16,999. Again, this phone, I think if you were to compare the features, you will not find a phone anywhere like this until you get up to $35,000, $40,000. We also have a 4 gigabyte version with 64 gigabytes of internal storage. Again, DDR4X RAM, and the price of that is so that's two phones today. Redmi Note 5, which is India's all-arounder. You get an all-new design, a better camera, particularly in low light, and the same great performance and battery life, with the same great RAM-ROM configurations at an even better price. And Redmi Note 5 Pro, which again is the best camera we've ever shipped in a phone here. It has pretty much everything. We couldn't fit it on this slide. I don't know what else we could have added to this phone. And it's just $13,999 for flagship grade performance, 4 gigabytes of super fast RAM, and an amazing camera. And you get a 6 GB version at $16,999. So if for some reason you are not entertained yet, which I find highly unlikely, we do have one last thing to share with you. And for that, I'll call on my friend, Mr. Sudeep Sahu.
Thanks, Jay. Hello, everyone. My name is Sudeep. I'm a product manager here at Xiaomi. Now, some of you guys might recognize me. I used to sit in one of those chairs during a launch event. But today, I'm really excited to announce the last product introduction. Now, this product is something that you all have been asking us for the last 3 years. Can you guys guess it? We're bringing for the very first time MeTV to India. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. This is the first time we're bringing the TV outside China, and India is the first country to get it. Now, we showcased this product last year in CES Vegas, and we got great reviews from all our media colleagues. In fact, some of them said, this sets a new standard in film television. But my favorite quote is this one from Engadget. This TV, once you take a look, it's a head turner, and it's really, really, really sexy. Let's take a look at the product video which we have for you today. That's pretty awesome, right? The MeTV 4 comes with an iconic design, and it's all about the 4.9mm thin. In fact, this is so thin, this is the first thing you'll notice when you look at it. Now, finally, Manu can believe that there are things slimmer than me. If you compare this with a regular TV, you will realize how slim this TV is. Not just TVs, you can compare it with any phone right now in the industry. This is slimmer than all the smartphones out there. In fact, it is 38% slimmer. Thank you. It's 38% slimmer than the Galaxy S8. Now, all of you guys must have gotten a box, right? Can you take and check out what's inside it? The MeTV 4 is as thin as this coin right in your hand. It's pretty amazing, right? It's this thin. Can you believe that? And I'm really proud to say that this is world's thinnest LED TV. We're really, really proud of this. To make this, we had to make technological breakthroughs in all departments of engineering. And we are sourcing world-class Samsung panel to fit in the display. To fit this display, we have a frameless display panel. If you look at a typical TV panel, you have this thick bezels all around. But with MeTV 4, it comes with a frameless display with almost no bezels. And the metal frame melts into the whole display. You can check it out later at the experience zone. No matter what you're watching, be it your favorite Star Wars movies, or Star Trek, for all the fans out there, or that epic scene from Gladiator, or that favorite first Iron Man movie from Marvel, MeTV 4 makes you feel that you're right there in the moment, thanks to the frameless display. Not just that, we have also sourced all the premium materials all around the TV, and it really blends well with any kind of setup, no matter if you wall mount or you tabletop it. MeTV 4 looks just like a piece of art in your home. This is by far the most beautiful TV that we have ever built. Don't you guys agree? So the Mi TV 4 comes with a massive 55-inch display, and the bigger the display, I think the better the experience, right? And if you compare it with the 32-inch, it's almost 3 times the size. So it gives you a great immersive viewing experience. Not just that, Mi TV 4 also comes with 4K Ultra HD resolution. Thank you. If you compare this to all the popular resolution out there, the 4K Ultra HD has 8 times more pixel than your regular HD panels. The Mi TV 4 also comes with the latest technology. It comes packed with Amlogic's 5th generation quality engine and my favorite, the HDR. Now if you take a look at this picture, HDR makes everything look really, really crispier and brighter. Do you want to check that again? This is without HDR, and this is with HDR. HDR just brings and punches in more color and contrast in every scene that you watch. So the Mi TV 4 comes with unrivaled image quality, and it really breathes life into each of those 8 million pixels. So that's the LED TV, Mi LED TV for you. But it's not just another TV. It's of course a smart TV. Thank you. Now to power the smartness, you need flagship hardware. So let's take a look at some of the specs. A Mi TV 4 comes with Amlogic's 64-bit quad-core chipset, coupled with 2 GB of RAM and 8 GB of storage. Trust me guys, when you start using this TV, you'll realize how fast this TV is. Not just that, for a complete cinematic experience, you need great audio. Mi TV 4 comes with Dolby Audio with DTS HD codec to give that complete cinematic experience. We also have enough connectivity options, by the way. We have 3 HDMI, 2 USB, a high-speed Ethernet, and dual-band Wi-Fi. But my favorite is the Bluetooth 4.0. You can connect all your favorite headphones. Now, let's talk about why do people buy a smart TV. And when we asked around, they all had one common answer. It's content. You guys want to watch your favorite TV shows or that favorite movie, right? And we are really proud to have partnered with India's top content providers. We are partnering with Hotstar. We have Voot. We have Sony Live. We have Hungama Play, Z5, Sun Next, All Balaji, Dio, we're not done, TVF, and Flixtree. You guys like it? Not just these, we'll be also actively working and trying to bring more partners on board. But with all these existing partners already, if you count the number of hours, that's over 500,000 hours of content on your Mi TV. Now, if my math is correct, you will literally need 57 years to complete watching all this content on your TV. With this, I think we can crown the Mi TV as the king of content. Don't you guys agree? Also, almost 80% of this content will be absolutely free to watch. Now, I love football, and FIFA World Cup is happening later this year. With Mi TV, you can watch all the matches live thanks to our partner, Sony Live. Now, I'm sure all the parents out here will really, really appreciate this. We have partnered with Voot to power our entire kids section so that you can keep all your kids entertained all through the day. Hungama is launching the originals, and you can watch it on Hungama Play right on your Mi TV. I want to take a moment and thanks all our partners. Thank you guys for working with us in helping us build India's largest content library. Thank you so much, guys. We really, really appreciate all your effort. Now, that's over 500,000 hours of content. Now, you must be wondering, how do you find that favorite TV show that you want to binge watch, or that movie that was launched a few weeks back? I'm really proud to announce that we have built India's first TV operating system that puts content right on your homepage. And we're calling it the patch wall. This is completely going to change the way you're going to interact with your TV. This has been built from ground up, completely for India, with a lot of customization. And I'm going to talk to you about some of the things a little later. But first, let's take a look at the product video. I'm sure you guys are going to start loving it the moment you start using it. And once you start using this operating system, you will find it so hard to go back to any other TVs out there. Let me quickly show you some of my favorite features. With Patchwall, you have endless content flow right on your homepage, and it's literally endless. I would encourage each one of you to try this at the experience zone later. Not just that, we have solved a very big pain point. On Patchwall, there's only one search. We're calling it the universal search, and you can find any content from across all the partners. One place. Just imagine how powerful this is. Not just that, later this year, we're going to introduce Profile so that you can have personalized recommendation based on your taste. Now this is our Mi remote, and I'm especially proud about this design. This is a unique 11-button design which makes it super easy. Just look at it. It's clean and it's easy. It also has Bluetooth, so you don't have to point to your TV to control it. And this is so easy. In fact, we can give it to any kid and he or she can start using instantly. There's literally no learning curve in using this remote control. Okay, let's summarize what we've spoken till now. It's the world's thinnest LED TV at just 4.9 millimeter. Comes with 4K HDR frameless display and over 500,000 hours of content, all with a revolutionary TV UI, which we're calling the patch wall. You guys like what you're seeing? Yeah. Right. Okay, so with that, I'm sure some of you must be wondering, I think we are ready to cut the cord. The matter of fact is there are over 200 million households here in India who pay for content even without internet. In fact, I have a set-top box at home and I pay over 600 rupees every month. Now the problem with this is you're stuck with two different remotes and there's two different UI. And on a smart TV, when you go to that HDMI source, you have this very sluggish UI. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about, right? It's like a dated UI. So you buy a smart TV, but you don't do anything smart when you go and watch a set-top box. I'm really proud to say that Patchwall is India's first operating system that brings all the content from your set-top box and seamlessly integrates right on your homepage. So there is only one interface, only one remote, and it's all laid out in a beautiful content card, which obviously has your own personalized recommendation. Now our goal is to make sure that Mi Remote is the only remote that you'll ever reach out to. Let's take a look how it works. If you scroll on your homepage, there will be a section called On Air. These are actually all the content from your set-top box. With Mi TV and with the simple Mi Remote, with a single click, we'll automatically switch to the right HDMI source and the right channel. It's pretty cool, right? And all this is made because of this Mi R cable. This is simply plug and play cable. There's absolutely no configuration required whatsoever. We are supporting all the major set-top boxes out there. Over 3,500 DTH cable operators across 48 different brands. Now this is all possible thanks to our friends at Sansara. Where are you guys? Hi, Bharat. I would like to thank the entire team. Thank you guys. We really appreciate for all the efforts. And this has truly been a great collaboration. And I can't wait to see what you guys are making next. All right. Do you guys want to check out the TV? Yeah. All right. You sure you want to see the TV right now? Yeah. Okay. Let's check the TV. So this is the Mi LED TV 4. And I want to quickly show you a couple of things. The Mi coin that you've got, if I put it this next to the bezel, it almost blends in. And if you can see on the other side, you will see the coin almost disappears. This is how thin this TV is. It's really, really thin. Not just this, the TV also comes with brushed metal back, which gives you a really premium look. No matter if you tabletop it, this TV looks great from every angle. It also comes with the aluminum alloy stands to give and complete that premium look. Now, I also want to show you quickly about the Patchwall. I did give a quick video, but I wanted to show it in person because it's really, really cool. So I'll walk over to the other TV which has been set up for us. But before I dive into the Patchwall, I would like to show you this remote. Once again, it's really simple. Once you start using this, the great thing about this remote is you'll never have to look to the remote. You'll always looking at the screen. That's how simple this is. Now here's Patchwall set up for us. I did tell you about the endless scroll, and this is how it looks. You literally can go on and on forever. Thank you. I also want to quickly show you about the linear TV integration. Here's X-Men from Star Movies HD. You not only get TV shows, you also get channels. So with one click, my TV will automatically switch to the right HDMI source and the right channel. Pretty awesome, right? Let's do that again. 10 sports? Okay, South Africa versus India is happening right now. Let's take a look. Not only that, we have a completely new UI to interact with your set-top box. With just one click, we overlay all the personalized recommendation right what you're watching on. You can also find the program guide. You can favorite your channels all using this simple remote. Now, some of you guys must know this. The back button on your set-top box usually toggles between two channels, right? But with our back button, you can toggle across all the channels that you've watched. Thank you. So that's a quick demo which I wanted to show you. Now, I'm sure you will start using this TV at the experience zone a little later. But before we go on, I would like to share a short, small story. I used to be a Mi fan myself, and I met a friend called Swapnil. I hope you're watching us today. When I joined Xiaomi, every time I meet him in Pune, he will ask this the first question. Bhai, Mi TV kab leke aa rahe ho? And I never had an answer. I just smiled and I asked, why do you want a Mi TV? He said, I just moved into this apartment and I have this cabinet sitting empty. And this cabinet only deserves a Mi TV. Today, I want to say sorry, Swapnil, and to all the Swapnils out there. We have kept you waiting for so long. Now, this is only because we wanted to build the best TV. And there have been a lot of people who have put their heart and soul in bringing this TV to India. And we have put down a special video. Let's take a look.
We want to bring the best TV product and the best user experience to Indian Mi fans.
做一台好电视很难，因为即使所有的元器件紧紧地贴合在一起，也远远地超过了5毫米。
我们只能一点点地寻求突破。新的设计对精度要求非常高，需近于零间隙。必须在具有无尘室的工厂生产。我们走遍全球各地，发现只有生产苹果 iMac 的2家代工厂接近我们的要求，但这2家工厂的设备精度仍然不够，所以不得不投巨资引进更高精度的设备。整个生产环节让我们觉得这台电视是比瑞士手表还精密的仪器。
做一件艺术品，色彩是绕不开的问题。为了让它晶莹剔透起来，我们参考了玻璃的色泽和纹理，从100多种蓝绿色中选出了最令人过目不忘的一种。
边缘那一块，从质感、亮度，然后到颜色，都要像真实的玻璃一样。
点亮屏幕的那一刻，仿佛整个世界就在你的眼前。
To make a great TV, not only should the design be aesthetically beautiful, but the operating system needs to be intelligent and enjoyable to use.
Even though petrol has been used in China for a while, we decided to go back to the drawing board and rebuild petrol from the ground up for our India Mi fans.
I can't remember how many homes and retail stores we have visited in India in order to understand what our Indian Mi fans really need for a smart TV. To our surprise, we found that smart TV in India today is not actually smart, and the content is really limited. So we set a goal to bring all the best content available in India to our Mi fans.
We wanted to create a massive content library for our Mi fans. But initially, when we reached out to all our partners, they just said no. We realized they didn't understand what Patchball was all about. So we rolled up our sleeves and showcased the true power of Patchball. I still remember the evening when I was packing to leave office that I got an email from one of our partners that said, "Let's do it." I was so excited, I just fell off my seat.
In the midst of collaborating with our Indian colleagues, we found that a lot of people mostly watched content from set-top box.
I started exploring the possibility of integrating content from the set-top box into the Patchball, and the possibility of controlling both the set-top box and Mi TV with a single remote. Really, there was no brand in India that offered anything close to what we wanted to do.
We set our minds to make it happen, knowing our Mi fans would demand the best.
To make this possible, we had to build everything from ground up in both hardware and software. we found that there are over hundreds of set-top boxes across 50 different brands. We went through months and months of tests and simulations on various set-top boxes with multiple remote controllers to ensure our Mi Fan get the best, seamless user experience.
Finally, we did it! Patchwall is India's first TV OS to put content before anything else. Now, you don't have to remember which app has your favorite content. Universal Search on Patchwall brings all content right at your fingertips.
I'll never forget my first Patchwall experience. It is the most intuitive TV operating system that I have ever used. I could actually feel the content as I was scrolling through the homepage, and I told myself, I've got to bring this to India for our Mi fans.
We are willing to put extra 100%
for even the tiniest of details
that go into making India's best TV.
I hope we'll always be the coolest company to Indian Mi fans.
We truly hope that we'll always be the coolest company in your hearts. And with that, I would like to introduce the man himself who made this all possible, Mr. Wang Chuan, the co-founder of Xiaomi and head of Mi TV. Mr. Wang Chuan.
Namaste.
Thank you, Mr. Wang Chuan. Please take a seat. Okay, let's talk about fries. I hope there's still some surprise for today's launch event. Now, before that, let's take a look at all the flagship TVs out there. Now, if you see the comparison, all the TVs are almost 3 times as thick as our TV, and some of them don't even have a frameless panel. Forget about the materials that's used. And we have a unique TV operating system, which is calling it the Patchwall. It's going to revolutionize the way you interact with your TV. So, the average price is around 2 lakhs for all these flagship 55-inch 4K display panels. What do you think should be the price of Mi TV 4? How about? It's too expensive? Mr. Wang Chuan, what do you think? He's the boss, he has to tell.
No, too expensive. This is not Xiaomi way.
Oh, sorry, I forgot for a moment I work for Xiaomi here. Okay, how about we halve this price? Is that okay? No?
Is this good enough? No, this is not good enough.
Okay, I might get fired for this, but I'm going to do it anyways. The Mi TV 4 is launching in India at...
Oh, are you okay? I'm okay.
That's the Mi TV 4 for you guys, the world's thinnest LED TV with 4.59mm ultra thin display in a frameless panel, over 500,000 hours of content in a revolutionary TV UI which we're calling the Patchwall at just $39.99. Come on guys, make some noise. We have some offers for you. We'll have premium subscription from our friends here at Sony and Hungama for the first 3 months. We're also giving the Mi IR cable free for until May 31st, and installation will be free. And with that, I would like to call Manu back on stage.
That was awesome. So these are the 3 gifts that we have for all of you guys. We're launching India's next all-rounder, Redmi Note 5, starting at $9999. We also have India's camera beast, Redmi Note 5 Pro, starting at $13,999. And of course, we have world's thinnest and most beautiful TV, Mi TV 4, only at $39,999. Why don't we do a photo op? Can we get Jay, Mr. Wong Chong on stage? Why don't we do one more with the TV? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry. Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
got to stretch again.
Thank you. Thank you.
More products, more smiles.
So, where can you buy these products? All of them will be available across me.com, Me Homes, and Flipkart starting next week, which is February 22nd. And of course, you can also buy Redmi Note 5 and Redmi Note 5 Pro across all our offline partners very soon. Just one last thing, we also have a special offer from our partner Reliance Jio. Now, this is the biggest ever offer. Reliance Jio is giving 2200 rupees of instant cash back and 100% additional data for every Redmi Note 5 and Redmi Note 5 Pro. So thank you so much, Reliance Jio guys. That's all guys. I really want to say, we also love you. Me loves you. Have a great Valentine's Day. Thank you.